Hello and welcome to Be My Own Boss Biz Talk Live Show. I am your host, Shante Roddy. We're so glad that you joined us today. This is a weekly live broadcast via Facebook where we provide a platform for entrepreneurs and business owners to really share their stories, their journey, so that they can inspire you. So whether you're aspiring entrepreneur or you're in business and you're having challenges and difficulties or you're trying to grow your business, this is the show for you. We talk about real issues that real entrepreneurs and small businesses are dealing with every single day. So today we have a special guest. Her name is Lauren Varlack. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, everybody.
I just want Lauren to introduce herself, tell us a little bit about her and her business, and then we're going to get into asking her some really good questions today.
Yeah. So, of course, my name is Lauren Varlack. I am the founder, the owner, brand strategist, branding designer, branding educator of Brand Your Flavor. And basically, what it is, it's a movement for Black women entrepreneurs, for us to be ourselves in our brand and brand our personalities as a Black woman and to truly live our destiny in whatever that is in our businesses, especially in our businesses, because granted, we are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs,
That's right.
in the nation. Yes. So we definitely want to show up and be ourselves culturally, whatever that looks like for us culturally throughout the diaspora and authentically in our own stories and our own brand stories. So I'm here to try and make sure that happens for us on a concept level, telling our stories conceptually throughout your brand and also visually through your graphics, your websites, your logos, etc.
I love that. And I love that name, Brand Your Flavor. I mean, it just has like flavor to it.
Yeah, it's all Black. It's all melanated.
And I love that. And yes, we are leading the entrepreneurship path. So we're paving the way for so many others to come forward and live their best life through entrepreneurship. So I love that. It's so important for us to really show up and be ourselves and be authentically us. That's important because I know a lot of people struggle with that. So maybe we could delve deeper into that. A lot of people really struggle with really showing up and being who they are, authentically them, feeling a lot of times insecure or inferior, like they have to measure up to other people or be like someone else to really matter and make a difference in this world and for their business to be seen and heard. Let's set the record straight.
Yes, let's please set the record straight. Let's please do that. Yeah, so just to go a little bit back into my story and why this happened and why this Brand Your Flavor came about, and it's going to answer that question because it's an awesome question. When I did wedding stationery at one point, I used to do branding like 10 years ago, and then I got burned out basically because I wasn't operating with the clientele that I wanted to operate with. So I'm like, okay, forget it. I'm just done with branding. I got the clients from Hill, so I was like, okay, I'm done. Forget it. So I'm like, okay, let's go to wedding stationery. Got to wedding stationery and I started creating wedding stationery that reflected who I am, African, Caribbean, putting all of those vibes together. I didn't see it in the industry, so I'm like, well, let me create it. And someone that's close to me that was at that point was close to me was supposed to be my partner at that time. He told me, hey, you're going to have to change all of that because nobody's going to buy any of it, especially white folk. If you think white folk is going to buy that, you got to be kidding. So I'm like, I'm thrown back because this is somebody I'm supposed to trust. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe nobody's going to buy it. So changed up everything, switched my entire message, my entire copy, everything changed to make it more general and more, specific, incorporating everybody, right? Long story short, I got the client, but then again, I got the client from hell again. Right? To the point where I completely had a nervous breakdown. And I'm like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. And I'm literally in the closet, broke down, crying, tears, like balled up, like a little kid, saying, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. And it was that's when I said to myself, you know what? Something has to change. I'm losing myself here. And I'm losing the person that I'm supposed to be in my life and in my business, because my life reflects business a lot. So I said, something has to give here. So I decided to go within myself and really acknowledge, what is it that you really want? What excites you? Mm-hmm. And when I asked myself that question, I said, oh, okay, what excites me? So I started writing it down in journals. What excites me? What do I want? And from there, that's how I pivot everything. And I said, okay, I'm going to stand up for myself. And I want to see other Black women stand up for themselves in life and in business as well. And that's how Brand New Flavor came about.
That, excuse me, that is so fantastic. It is so important to really think about and consider what we want. And I think a lot of times, especially for women, we don't really think about that, because we're givers, and we're mm-hmm. always serving other people, that even when we get into business, it's like we don't really think about what it is that we want. Mm-hmm. And I know for me, that was brought up to me like a while ago when I was in a class, and that really was like an aha moment for me. Like, they were like, start with, even in your planning process, start with what you want. What mm-hmm. is it that you want? Where is this business going to take you, that you're going to be able to do the things you want, live the life you want? And so I think that is so important. So yeah. I'm glad that you were able to go through that process to be able to find your right path and what worked well for you in your business.
Awesome. Yes, it was. It was a thing, because through all of that, and being at the same time, I'm assessing myself and my own life. Because like you said, you have to, as Black women and as women, we're so much givers, and I was giving to everybody. Mm-hmm. Kids, at that time I was with my ex, and that as I grew, I figured out, hey, I'm in an abusive relationship here. This is toxic. Mm-hmm. I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to have my kids around that anymore. So in that entire process of a self-assessment and just saying, okay, this is what I want. These are my boundaries. I was able to transform that in my life and put it to my business and say, you know what? This is what I want. This is what I stand for. This is what we're going to do when it comes to branding. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is what branding really is. And as I started taking that stand and putting that boundary on it, that's when I started to see all of the, Black women, the sisters just come in and say, yes, 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 that's true. Yes. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is it. And it felt good. When it feels good, and then I'm on the right path. Exactly.
So how long have you been in business, and what was the driving force behind you becoming an entrepreneur?
I've been in business, I would say, approximately 10 years, 10 so years, dibble dabbling in a bunch of stuff. But just the mere fact of, I love creating, and I love creating, but creating for others, it helps to release that outlet. Mm-hmm. But I think the whole notion of being an entrepreneur came when I had my first son. And when I had my first son, I was still in college. I was getting my second degree, my bachelor's degree, and him being pregnant and, going to school at the same time, I was like, I don't want to have to go out and work just as soon as he's born, like 3 months after he's born, and I have to go out and work right away. I want to be able to enjoy him for at least a little while. And with that, I'm like, okay, I definitely want to do something where I can earn money at home and still take care of him while, being a breadwinner, being contributing. So from there, I started delving into what I could do with my gifts, what I could do with my talents. And that's how, I started dabbling in graphic design and branding and so forth. And it started growing from there, from freelancing to doing more and more and more projects. And now building an entire movement and course and and everything. So it's been awesome.
That's fantastic. So, what motivates you every day to keep going? Because we know that challenges come, obstacles come. So, what is it that keeps you going? What motivates you?
My kids, my two sons, they motivate because, and knowing that I'm creating a legacy for them and also creating a legacy for Black women entrepreneurs in the diaspora, especially in the United States and the Caribbean. It's like that's my driving force. It's more I want to be able to tell our stories as best as I can, telling our stories, telling our history, telling our past, our present, and future. Um, in any way, shape, or in any shape or form. Um, and doing that and having something for my sons and their generations to be able to see the progress that we've made and see and have something for themselves as well. That drives me a lot. Legacy. Mm-hmm.
I love to hear that. Yes, definitely leaving a legacy for our families. That's why so many of us got into it. So I love that, and the fact that you have the flexibility to live the life you want, to be able to take care of your children, and still make a living and live your purpose. So let's talk about that a little bit. Being an entrepreneur and being in the business that you're in, do you feel like that this is an opportunity for you or a vehicle for you to be able to serve your purpose?
Oh yeah.
And if so, how are you doing that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I would say, and this is something that I teach in my membership as well. When you go through a pain, the pain helps you to navigate to your purpose. And going through that pain point of going through what I went through, breakdown emotionally, finding myself, in every shape or form, mentally, spiritually, physically, everything, having that self-awareness, it helped me to propel myself into my purpose. And the purpose is understanding who I am, where I'm going, and where I am, and who I'm about, basically, who I'm for, who I'm here to stand for. Um, and that's important to me, especially in branding, because what I do now is that I'm teaching and I'm helping Black women have brands that stand for something, that's saying, hey, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, and this is where I'm going. And if you want to come on the train with me, then come on the train. So basically, it's more so helping Black women understand that through your story, through your journey, there is a silver lining there that can help other people, that can serve other people. You can stand up for them through building a brand. And you don't have to say, oh, I'm going to ditch my 9 to 5 just to, have something out there that you are helping and you're standing for, that niche or that industry that excites you. You can do that just as much with your 9 to 5. But once you are there and you are standing in your truth and you're standing in your authenticity and you're helping others with your gifts, that is awesome, and it really excites me.
That's awesome. So what would you say is your, I would say, greatest inspiration?
Oh, my greatest inspiration. Aside from my sons being born, the birth of my sons, oh, I'm inspired by a lot of things. I would say creativity, music. I've always loved music. Um, my greatest, yeah, it's just life in general, just the awesomeness of the creator
Mm-hmm.
and the universe itself that inspires me. Um, as for a person, a particular person, um, I would have to, my biggest inspiration for a particular person, I always call him my mentor in my head. He's my mentor in my head. Never met him, never got a chance to go to any of his concerts, but that's okay because he's my mentor in my head. Is Michael Jackson.
Wow. He's a mentor for a lot of us, okay?
So yeah, so whatever it is with him and dealing with his brand and his creativity, his flow, everything, his message, I sit down and I engulf it like I'm eating Cheetos or something. Mm-hmm. So but yeah, those things inspire me, like getting up in the morning and seeing a sunrise and seeing the dewdrops and how the sun hits the sun on the dewdrop. I think that's inspiring to me. And I say thank you.
That's awesome. Yes, thank you. And just to know that we are part of all of that greatness is like amazing.
Yes.
And I think it's so important that I know we get busy in our lives, but I think if we just quiet ourselves and really get in the present moment, I think sometimes we miss that. Mm-hmm. And then we're able to see all these wonderful, beautiful, amazing things.
Yes.
Within the world that can really help us in life and in our business and help bring out our creativity and our gifts that we have within ourselves.
Yes.
I'm so glad you said that. I just love that. Like just down to the detail of raindrops and the sunshine and the leaves and the wind blowing.
Yeah, it's very inspiring to me because when I go out for my morning walks and I exercise in the morning and so forth, and just to see the sunrise.
Yeah.
And see the colors of the sunrise, to me, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And I said, you know what? Thank you, Creator. Thank you, God, for letting me see that.
That's fantastic. So I want to talk a little bit about challenges. Because we know as entrepreneurs and business owners, we're going to encounter challenges. So tell us about like one of the biggest challenges from your perspective that you found that you have experienced since you have been a business owner.
Yeah. The biggest, the biggest challenge that I would say was trying to cater to everybody. Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing. It was trying to cater to everybody. I did not set boundaries. I did not stand up for myself. And that lent itself to my business because it was scattered. It was just, oh, I'm going to appease everybody. And can't do that. There's 7 billion people on this planet. I can't appease everybody. I can't sell to everybody. I can't. You can't sell. I can't sell a website and say, okay, to my 6-year-old and say, you want me to create a website for you? It doesn't make sense. He doesn't know. He's like, yeah, sure, mama, sure. But yeah, I had to set clear boundaries on who I am going to stand up for in this business world. And when I realized that, and I did so much things. I spun in circles. I was like, oh, I got to get my website up. I got to get this logo done. Oh, I got to get this. up and running. I got to buy this fancy smanchy course, or I got to have this, nice landing page and buy this great software so I can have this great landing page. And when I realized it, I was like, I'm just spending money willy-nilly and nothing is coming up, nothing is working. Mm-hmm. And when I realized it, I was like, no, because you're not talking to the people you need to talk to. You need to talk to your people, niche it down, talk to the people you want to talk to the people that lights you up, talk to the people that you know that you can definitely stand up for and serve. And once I did that, it became clear. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do.
And how did that really change your business after you had that shift and decided that you were going to set those boundaries and that you could not be all things to all people and satisfy all people? So when you made that shift, how did that shift your business?
Oh yeah, tremendously. It certainly did. From that, I was able to sit down and say, okay, well, who am I going to really serve? And who do I want to serve? And I sat about it and I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, well, let me take a look at myself. So I started breaking myself down into personalities. And I'm like, yeah, this is my personality here. I was this at one time. I was a fire starter at one time, or still am, or, and I'm a rebel, and I'm definitely, a homegirl, honey. And I have these attributes to me that, I broke down, and I'm like, okay, well, these are interesting attributes. I'm like, I definitely see this in a lot of other women that's friends and family and so forth. So I decided, well, hey, let's make this into a quiz or a personality quiz. It's rooted in psychology. That's something I'm based in my other discipline, which is social science. So I'm like, okay, well, let me do that. So I put it out there, put out this quiz. I called it the Brand New Flavor Quiz. I'm like, this is my flavor. Let's see what's your flavor. Mm-hmm. And I put it out there. I toiled over it because doing this perfectionist thing. And I'm like, I don't know if it's good yet. And my biz friend was like, go put it out there. And I did. And yeah, everybody was like, yes, this is what we needed. I needed to stay. Thank me for actually giving them a tool to see themselves and to see how they can use themselves, how they can use their gifts and use their purpose into just being awesome and branding a business that can help them and help their family become better and awesome and do great things in the world.
That's amazing. Now, so we talked about the challenges. What would you say has been your greatest success at this point?
Yeah, my greatest success would be understanding that everything you do in life, will come back full circle. And it did. It absolutely did with this business. I did not think that my social science degree and my secondary teaching degree will come back to me, but it did. I'm using all of those things that I've learned, everything that I've learned in that, and it came back. I'm using the teaching skills in my course and my membership. I'm using psychology and sociology to talk about branding and using culture and creating a culture in your business. All of those things have came back full circle, everything. So yeah, going back, and that's my advice for others, is don't ever think that anything in your past isn't relevant. It's always going to come back in some form or fashion. I think that's my greatest achievement right now, is that being able to use my wisdom and my journey, and now it's helping other women to put forth their journey and become successful. That's been my greatest achievement so far.
I think that is so awesome and so important. Everything that you have done and experienced is relevant. Because I know so many people don't think so. I hear a lot of debate about the people going to college and should I have gone to college, or am I doing what am I working in the same field of my degree? And I even hear people ask me a lot of times, how did you get into this area and that area? And it's all of your experience collectively that make you who you are. Yes. You have built that expertise and that knowledge on. So don't take any of those, any of your experiences, any of your education for granted. No matter if you think you're working in that field or not, you are using that or have the potential to be able to use everything that you have learned and experienced in your business and in life in general.
Yes.
It happens every day. I'm a witness, and like Lauren said, she's a witness to that. So don't ever think anything that you did was a waste of time. Anytime you're learning is a good thing.
Yes. Even when I was younger and I was in college and so forth, I worked for one of those big brand companies, clothing companies or what have you. And I was just part-time. But I learned a lot about merchandising, point of sale. And I didn't realize it then. I thought it was just, I was making money just to go to college, just to get my little fries and, my chicken sandwich at the time. But, but now that I'm in this business, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm talking about stuff, merchandising, point of sale. I learned that back when I was working in that brand. So you never know, you could be working in McDonald's. You picked up something from there, and I'm sure it's going to come full circle.
Absolutely. Now, how do you define success? Because I know a lot of people comparing success and are looking at other people's definition of success. And I always say you need to find what is your definition of success and follow that. So for you, what is your definition?
My definition of success, there's so much definitions. I think my definition of success is basically when you're living your purpose and you're happy with it and you're helping others to find success. That's true success to me. Doesn't have to be monetary. It doesn't have to be energetic. Draining. But once you are able to find that peace of mind and find the thing that excites you, and you're impacting the world with that purpose, that to me is success. That to me is where, and it doesn't have to be where you're living this plateau and you're living a high life and you're saying, oh, and you have ups and downs, of course, because everything, life is just a roller coaster. But when you're able to enjoy that roller coaster and you're like, wee, okay. and at some point you're screaming at it, but you're like, oh, okay, I'm good. Yeah, you've been successful.
Absolutely. Now, if you were to start over and do one thing differently, what would that one thing be?
If I was to start over business-wise or even life, I would just be more confident in myself, have more confidence, and just stand for what I believe in myself. But having more confidence, definitely, because we all got to, especially in my life journey, I realized that the more confidence I had, the more I was able to put in place the things that I wanted. So the same would go for anybody in the audience. Just, have the confidence to know that you are on the right path. Regardless of where you're going, you're on the right path. You're going to get there somehow.
I love that. And that's so true. You're on the right. Entrepreneurship is a process. It's a journey. It's a path you're on. So let that encourage you. Let that motivate you to continue going. Don't get discouraged if things don't look the way you think that they should look, or they're not going the way you plan them to go. It's a journey. So don't give up on that journey. You have the vision. You were given the gift for a reason. Keep on moving.
Yes.
So one of the last questions I'm going to ask you, Lauren, is to help some of our audience out. If you can offer a tip, advice, recommendation for what an entrepreneur needs to implement to be successful in business, what are 2 or 3 things that you would say are most important?
Awesome question. And this is the thing that I teach over and over again in my membership. First thing is to stand for your brand. Establish I don't care about those logos, don't care about that website. You don't have to have a website right away, and you do not have to have a very fancy smashy logo. And that's coming from a designer. I'm a designer. You don't have to have it right away. Build your audience first. Okay? Make sure that you stand for something first. You want to create that movement, create a culture, create a group of people that would be like, yes, you know, and be that person, you know, be that group for you, be that tribe that would stand for you, right? So definitely build your audience first, okay? Then when you build your audience, tell your story. You want to tell your story over and over and over again. Be consistent with it. Tell your story. You can educate people with your story. So it's not so much about the product and service that you have. The product and service, that's really almost like, you know, the eggs in a cake, okay? You want your audience to see the full cake. You want them to experience the full cake. So telling your story and how that relates to how you got to your product, how that got to your service, that's the key, because then now they're able to connect with you and have a shared experience, right? And then the last thing, once you're able to tell your story, you have to be able to tell that story consistently. So having a plan and some way of a system of experience that your audience can go through that experience, that's key. So making sure that you have a plan or an experience plan for your audience so that you can tell your story and you can educate about your products and services over and over and over and over and over again, consistently matching the life with your business, telling the story and matching that with your brand, your business, your product and service, and doing that consistently over and over and having that plan to do it over and over again, you'll be awesome. And I'll tell you, once you do it in that order, your logo and your website and all of that stuff is going to come very easily, very, very easily.
That's good. I put the notes in the comments, so that's really good. Because you want to build your audience and your tribe. I wish I had known that super earlier. That is so important. And that's what we're doing this show, is to tell your story. That's what people connect with. And I always talk about the know, like, and trust factor. People want to be able to relate to you. Then once they relate to you, then that makes it easier for them to connect with what it is that you have to offer.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. So this is my last question to you. So if you had a magic wand and you could change 2 things in the world, what would those 2 things be?
Magic wand. I would want to change. Oh, that's deep. If I had a magic wand right now, I would want to change things so that people of color has equity in this world. Not equality, but equity. Because equality, that means that everybody's on the same plateau. So if somebody's here, right, and they may not necessarily have the tools to get up here, but if there's equity, then you're given the tools, whether you're up here or whether you're down here, and everybody has the same footing, you know, to do that. And I think if I had a magic wand, I would definitely want equity for us as a people. Yeah.
I love that. I want that too. Okay, so tell everybody again about information about you, how they can get in contact with you, what it is that you have to offer so that they know what they can get and how they can get it.
Awesome. So again, I am Lauren Varlack of Brand Your Flavor, the movement for Black women entrepreneurs to be themselves, to brand themselves, and to live your destiny. And basically, you can find me. As a matter of fact, you can take my personality quiz at brandyourflavor.com. Find out what your flavor is that you can use so that you can put your awesome brand out there and just be your awesome self, right? I have that, and I also have the book called Brand Your Flavor. I have it, actually I have it right here, and I use it myself. It's an actual guide that I use myself. It's the Black Woman's Guide to Branding Your Business. So if you want more information about how you can use your personality to drive your brand and really build an awesome brand, you can get this book on my website as well, brandyourflavor.com.
Awesome. Okay, Brand Your Flavor. So we have been having a great time hearing Lauren's story. So we appreciate you, Lauren, for joining us today, to sharing your story with us. Audience, we hope that you were inspired today, empowered to keep moving in your business and living your destiny, living your dreams, living the life that you want. So you have tuned in to the Be My Own Boss Biz Talk live show. We appreciate you joining us today. You can tune in live every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you would like to be a guest on our show, please, we welcome you to apply online at www.BeMyOwnBossExpo.com. We want to hear from you. You have a story to share, and the people want to hear it. So we look forward to receiving your application and having you on as a guest. We have one open spot left for the month of October, but we do have some openings for November and December. So again, go to www.BeMyOwnBossExpo.com. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and share. Until next time, everybody have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.